Good morning. Our Universalist heritage proposes that each person is made of divine goodness. Science offers that we are stardust. Whatever your beliefs, know that you are a gift inherently worthy of love. You are a gift, and we are glad that you are here. Love is the spirit of all souls. In this moment of our shared journey, may you feel witnessed and honored whenever you are on the journey. Let us now greet our neighbors, especially new or returning people, with our names and pronouns.
Good morning. It is my pleasure to introduce our very special guest playing piano this morning. We have Miss Annalise Kinslow playing Mozart's Minuet K7.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to all of you who are here with us now in this moment, and also to those who are catching us later on online. My name is Emily Salinas. My pronouns are she, Asia. With Sonja Isenhart, she, her, we will be serving as your worship associates for today's service. I'm not sure if Nancy is here. Is she here today? Okay. Well, we do have, of course, Reverend Katie, our senior minister, pronouns she, ella, and Gabe Perbieri, our music director, he, him, and we are your worship team on the chancel today. Everyone, people of all ages, are joyfully welcomed in service. However, we do have nursery care that is available if that option works best for you. You will notice at the edge of your pew, you should see a connection card of various colors. I invite you to complete this. It's a great way to let us know if you would like support, if you need assistance, if you have new contact information, or have an interest, comment, or question. You can place that in the offering basket as it comes around a little bit later in today's service. Welcome.
Thank you, Emily. Buenos días, mi gente. That is so good to see you all. So we've had an exciting morning already. There was a couple that wasn't able to be here last weekend for the Love Wins weddings. They heard about us online through the news coverage that we received, and we had a wedding this morning at 9:30. And Rev Dorian and I talked this morning, and we would very much like to be able to continue to offer this service. I know there's volunteers who are willing to do another big event, but some people just can't make the larger events. And what I would love to know through applause or comment cards and comments online is, would you like us to continue to make room in our schedules as a priority to make sure that these families can be married and not have that stress? Okay. We thank you. This is an important way that we can hold space in the community. I also want to thank Jane Murphy, who created a card station that is going to be in the social hall after service. We encourage you, if you know someone who needs a card in the community, grab one, fill it out. They're pre-stamped. You can send it. This Sunday, we would also love it if you could write a special note to Army Chaplain Sarah Kane. Sarah Kane is a UU minister, UU chaplain who is on deployment. She is about 2 months into her deployment right now. Chaplain Kane is responsible for bringing Our Whole Lives sexuality programming to the U.S. Army. And she received a national accommodation for this. She's an incredible chaplain. She is also teaching jujitsu to women on base, and just a phenomenal human being. And I know that your notes of encouragement will mean a tremendous amount. Just a reminder, on Christmas Eve at 6 p.m., we will be having a service right here with a candlelight ceremony. This is an all-ages service, so come one, come all. We have not formally planned for anything after service this year. We can in future years. We didn't get a chance to take a pulse on the community. With the election, we felt a little derailed this year, but I want you to know that this is your church home. So if you feel like we want to have some cookies and some cocoa, set up for some cookies and cocoa. We can do that after service. Doesn't have to be staff planned. You don't need our permission to use the kitchen and on an event night and hold space and community. We encourage that strongly. So please do feel comfortable doing that. As we continue our time together, let us acknowledge the land itself and those who have sustained it through the generations. We are upon the unceded land of the Lenape, the Miamia, the Kaskaskia, Shawnee, and Kickapoo people who were pushed from their land and whose children have been stolen for generations. As we strive to be a community of justice, may we continue to find ways to make real reparations. In the spirit of this holy weekend, where we celebrate Yule, the winter solstice, we would like to call in the energy of the quarters.
We call upon the energy of the East, sacred breath, air, to join us this day. Welcome to the energies of the East.
Welcome.
South. We call upon the energies of the South, fire, heat, passion, and compassion, to join us this day. Welcome, energies of the South.
West. We call upon the cooling energies of the West, where restorative energies move and live. Welcome, energies of the West.
Welcome.
North. We call upon the energies of the North, the earth, resting place of our ancestors. We welcome these energies.
Welcome. We call upon the energies of the center, the larger love of creation, to be with us in this space. Let us welcome love at the center. Welcome.
At this time, I would like to ask Michael Chenworth to come up and please light our chalice. The ritual of lighting our chalice reminds us to continually renew our promise to live into our values, to live into our covenant, to put love into action, and to live out the community of love and justice that we aim to be. Please rise and body your spirit as we share the words printed in our order of service. We'll do this in Spanish first, and then also in English. If you are with us online, please do let us know in the chat where you are lighting your chalice from. El amor es el espíritu de esta iglesia, y el servicio es su ley. Vivir juntos en la paz, buscar la verdad en el amor y ayudarnos unos a otros. Este es nuestro pacto. Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law, to dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help one another. This is our covenant. Thank you.
I invite the choir to help me teach you guys a new song today. Please go there, go. You have the refrain, the text of the refrain, and that's where you're starting from. So Liz, can you help us with the melody of the refrain? Come darkness, come light. Oh, from the refrain first. Hey. Darkness, come light. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night. He is my home. Let's sing this one more time. Come darkness, come light. Where are we bound? Come morning, come night. Here is my home. The friends from whom we must part. Here are we bound. Your hands and voices lift my heart. He is my home. For those who work in harmony, where time. Come, darkness, come, light. Where are we bound? Come, morning, come, night. Here is my home. If we can join ourselves in song, where are we bound? Our heart will live when we are gone. Here's my home. The spirit which find music here. Where are we bound? We'll live forever in the air. Here is my home. Refrain. Come, darkness, come, light. Where are we bound? Come, morning, come, night. Here is my home. One more time, the refrain. Come, darkness, come, light. Where are we bound? Come, morning, come, night. Here is my home. One last time. Come, darkness, come, light. Where are we bound? Come, morning, come, night. Here is my home. Come, darkness, come, light. Where are we bound? Come, morning, come, night. Here's my home.
Winter Solstice by Starhawk. At the darkest moment of the year, light is reborn. From the womb of night is born the child of light, who is returning year. Solstice reminds us that the goddess is, beyond all, associated with regeneration. Death gives way to birth, endings to new beginnings. The solstice reminds us that every quality contains and gives way to its opposite. There can be no light without darkness, no darkness without light. Justice is not a question of one side defeating the other, but of finding the dynamic balance between them that generates the energies that sustain the world. Throughout the longest night, we keep vigil. We bake bread. Its swelling dough reminds us of the swelling belly of pregnancy. At dawn, when the Great Mother gives birth to the new year, we climb the hills to sing and dance and drum for the rising sun. Hope and inspiration arrives within us, and we look to the world with the fresh eyes of a child.
We're gonna sing the hymn, Ancient Mother. It's 1069 on the Teal hymnal. Please stand up if you're able and willing to sing with us.
Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your feet.
One more time.
Ancient Mother, I hear you calling. Ancient Mother, I hear your song. Ancient Mother, I feel your laughter. Ancient Mother, I taste your tears.
Please join me in taking a few moments to note that which is currently bringing joy or sorrow to our community. Please hold Sandy and Jerry Dearson in our hearts and consider sending notes of encouragement. You can find their address in the know. Let us hold a moment of silence together for the joys and sorrows in our hearts that are yet unnamed. Thank you. Please rise in body or spirit as we sing 123.
Fuente de life, come unto me, sing in my heart. Sopla volar, subir no mar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arráigame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
Now let's all of us sing in the same language. Let's all of us sing in English first.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea. Move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice. Roots hold me close, wings set me free. Spirit of life, come to me, come to me.
And now in Spanish.
hacia mí, y al corazón cántale tu compasión. Sopla volar, subir volar, hasta moldear la justicia de la vida. Arráigame, libérame, fuente de amor, ven a mí, ven a mí.
Now I would like you to put the text away, put the lyrics away. A very important feature of singing is the text, but also a very important feature of singing is the melody. So I'm going to invite you to sing with me, just humming the melody without the piano. We don't need the piano right now. Let's hear our voices just humming this melody together. Invite you to be a little more creative. If you feel comfortable just singing the melody, humming the melody with me, great. If you want to create a new voice for you, do that. If you want to make noises with your hands to be part of the song, if you want to explore the sounds of your body, different types of breath, feel free to do so. That's your moment.
That's so beautiful, Gabe. As we were singing that together, I was reminded of a moment in one of our congregations several years ago where some people came to create fear in the service, and they rose up and started to shout things in the middle of the service to create disruption and fear. And it was our youth group in this congregation that rose up and started to sing Spirit of Life. And then the congregation joined in with Spirit of Life. And the ushers were able to assist folks in leaving peacefully from the space. And we were able to notice who was truly there to disrupt because they didn't know Spirit of Life. So it's important to know this song. This is a good one, and to at least be able to hum the melody But it is one of the most precious songs in our hymnal that most Unitarian Universalists know. And it was this beautiful, faithful act of resistance by one of our youth that led to the peaceful resolution and a moment of unity in something that was meant to incite fear. And I hope we can hold on to that as we continue through this next 4 years, thinking about what makes us strong. I've been reminded of another story. My oldest son is coming from the DC metro area to spend a few days for Christmas with us. And he's 26, so, we're especially excited that he still wants to spend holidays with us. But when he was 4, we were still living in the Northern Virginia area, and he was sitting at the table, and he says to me, "Mom, there's 2 kinds of chicken." I was like, "Okay, tell me about it." "Well, there's the chickens on the farm, and there's the chicken on your plate." And as a Unitarian Universalist parent, I believe in speaking truth in age-appropriate ways. So I said, "Well, they're actually the same chicken. There aren't 2 kinds." And he went, "But the farmers are their friends." This age of grocery store vegetables and meats, this age of technology can disconnect us from the earth and from the rhythms of the earth. And one of our sources that's named in our gray hymnals is earth-based traditions. And I find it is the wheel of the year that brings me back to the rhythms of nature. And I'm going to quickly give you an overview of what I mean by that. There are eight major Sabbats in the wheel that comprise the wheel of the year. The first or the last, depending on how you're looking at it, because this is a circle, is Samhain, which is October 31st to November 1st in most pagan traditions. It marks the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter. And I should say this is based on mostly Northern European pre-Christian theologies. During this time, we remember, I must have been talking to my mother because I wrote, we remember our antepasados, we remember our ancestors. Then we have Yule, which was just last night. It's usually between the 20th and the 23rd, sometimes the 19th and the 23rd of December. And that's when we celebrate the rebirth of the sun. This marks the longest night of the year and the return of longer days. The theme is renewal and hope. Imbolc is usually February 1st or 2nd. Sometimes it's called Candlemas. This festival marks the midpoint between winter and spring, when the seeds of the earth are beginning to germinate. Ostara, or the spring equinox, is again between 19th and 23rd, but this time of March, and it celebrates the balance of day and night, the arrival of spring, the time of fertility and renewal. It's often linked to planting and growth, even though I have learned that in Indiana, you don't put something in the ground until Mother's Day. So I thank you, gardeners, for that hot tip. Beltane marks the beginning of summer. It is May 1st. It is celebrated with fire and fertility rites, sometimes maypoles. The themes are Earth's abundance and blossoming life. Litha, or summer solstice, is around June 21st. Celebrating the longest day of the year, it honors the sun at its peak. The themes are abundance, growth, and the fullness of life. Lammas, or Lagunisad, is August 1st, the first harvest. It's about gratitude for the first fruits of the harvest, celebration of community and abundance. We often do animal blessings right around this date, and I hope to bring that back to All Souls someday because it is such a joy to be able to bless our beautiful fur-feathered, scaled and skinned friends who bless our lives. Mabon is the autumn equinox between the 20th and 23rd of September. It's the second harvest, and the themes are gratitude, a celebration of balance as day and night are equal, and a transition to the darker half of the year. That's your 8. There are no quizzes. Now, this is the time of year where in my household we tell the same story. So we hear on Christmas Eve the Christmas story every year. Does anyone know why we tell around this time of year or around important religious holidays, we tell the story of the holiday every year? Liza, do you want to share why? You don't have to. Yeah, why do we share the same stories over and over? Yes, thank you. Stories are deep. They hearten us. They connect us to one another. They remind us about that particular time of year, and there's an invitation in the story to try to connect it to our lives as they are. Now, as Unitarian Universalists, we are a part of a liberal religion. That does not necessarily mean liberal politically, but it does mean liberal theology. It means for us, revelation is not sealed. We don't know for sure what's going to happen, and we draw on predominantly reason and experience in doing our theological work. But in theologians, and Christian theologians in particular, and we do come up from the Protestant tradition, work oftentimes with something called the Wesleyan quadrilateral. Reason and experience are a part of that quadrilateral, and so is Scripture and tradition. These times of year, we often return to Scripture and tradition to think about how those old stories are at play in our lives right now. So this story we share in my house goes like this. We turn off all the lights in the house, and the story begins. As we think about what perhaps some of our ancestors might have experienced on the coldest night, the longest night. Perhaps multiple families were gathered under one tiny roof. Perhaps even farm animals, if they were to have survived winter, were also brought indoors. It was a time where we recognized that we needed each other to survive these long winters. And so throughout the longest night, perhaps, to keep siblings from pulling each other's hair out, stories were told around the fire. And then, when the sun rose, perhaps our ancestors went outside and gathered to sing it up, and to know that the worst of times were over, and soon it would be safe to plant. Soon the time of the largest influx of illness would end, and we would start to have more access to fresh air and the outdoors and the activities that help us to be strong and healthy all year round. And then we light a candle, and then there's presents. I find myself returning to this story over and over because I wonder, as we prepare for the next year, is this the darkest night? I asked myself that question during COVID too, which also drove us indoors. It drove my children both home. My youngest was still in high school, so he was already there, but my oldest lost all of his jobs. He had 3 in one day when everything shut down, and he had to move home. And in that time, it was so clear that this multi-generational family needed each other. And our neighbors, we shared food when we could. We did outside Halloween parties, desperately trying to find ways to connect. Because I think deep in our hearts, we know we need each other. So I invite you to answer this question for yourself. Is this a darkest night? And how might you invite people into your heart, into your home, into this community, to find ways to connect more deeply so that we may nourish each other, so that perhaps we may tell old stories and new stories to keep our siblings from ripping each other's hair out. And that we may focus our love and sing up the sun. Because what life teaches us all and what the wheel reminds us is that the sun does come up over and over and over again. So we can lean into the dark times as times of remembrance that this is what we need for new life to be born. Valerie Kaur says, is it the darkness of the womb or the darkness of the tomb? You decide. But let us lean into this with love at our center and prepare ourselves together to celebrate the birth of a new day. Amen, and blessed be.
This week, we are sharing our offering plate with our minister's discretionary fund. This fund provides necessary support and a safety net to community members when there are surprise medical bills, when eviction looms, the electricity is about to be shut off, the gas tank is empty, the fridge is bare, and more. This is the only safety net for many in our community. To contribute, you can gift cash or check into the collection plate, or if online, you can go to allsoulsindy.org, where you'll find a link that says, Give to All Souls here on the left side. It is beneath the description for today's service. Please do indicate if your gift is a pledge payment or if it is for Share the Plate, if you're paying online or if you are using a check. Thank you for your generosity in supporting the mission of All Souls and for your continued love for one another and for this world. The morning offering may now be given and gratefully received.
Officially my favorite arrangement. Thank you so much, choir. As we prepare to leave this space today, may we remember that love is always at our center. Our universalist theology we inherited teaches us this. We are inherently an agent of love in this world. We are good, we are worthy of good, we are worthy of love. There is nothing that we have to do or say to make that happen. Let us remember as we leave this space our ancestors, those chosen and those whom we may know. May we call upon their wisdom in these times. May the energies of the West, those cooler, nurturing energies, be with us when our tempers need to cool just enough for us to refocus that energy with the power of love. May the fire of our passions keep us going in all times. And may the energy of the East, our intellect, be with us.
May the circle be open, but not unbroken. May the peace of the goddess be ever in your heart. Mary, meet and Mary part. Mary, meet again. May the circle be open, but unbroken. May the peace of the goddess be ever in your heart. Mary, meet and Mary part, and Mary meet again. May the circle be open, but unbroken. May the peace of the goddess be ever in your heart. Mary meet and Mary part, and Mary meet again. May the circle be open, but unbroken. May the peace of the goddess be ever in your heart. Mary meet and Mary part, and Mary meet again. Have a beautiful day.